Hey guys, welcome back. This is kind of one of those spur of the moment videos. I really hadn't planned to do this, but since I was still in the middle of sorting through and rebagging and reboarding a bunch of stuff, and also I was partially, I guess, inspired by a recent video that Captain Strangelove put up with his Golden Age Jungle books, and I just happened to be going through my DC Jungle books and I guess Edgar Rice Burroughs related titles, and so I just thought I'd show you the stacks of those that I've been going through. Just recently rebagged and boarded most of them. I would love to have all these in Mylar, but that's an expensive project, as a lot of you well know. And I know our buddy Dr. Von Chella, John, he's trying to get what he's got left of his collection. I think he's trying to get it all in Mylar, so it's a really cool little. It's like I say, it's one of those things you have to enjoy the process. And the only problem is going through this stuff. I want to leaf through it or read it, or like, wow, I remember this story. But a lot of these Tarzan and ERB associated books I really haven't seen in years. A lot of them, so it was really kind of hey, it's really great to see this stuff. And I forgot a lot of them were in pretty decent grade, but I just remember the stories from when I was a kid, and just thought I'd share that with you guys. First stack we got is Korak, Son of Tarzan. This is continued from the Del and Go Key series, and this first DC issue came out in 1972. And of course, all these pretty much are going to be Joe Kubert covers in art, and/or most of them are going to be Joe Kubert covers, I know. But just some great stuff in here. This is actually the first DC issue. This is number 46. Pretty nice grade. Really nice cover by Joe Kubert. Got a lot, probably my favorite thing about these, and these have been reprinted later on in some books I'll show you, but the Carson of Venus feature. And I think all these stories were written by Len Wein, who, as you well know, is the co-creator of Swamp Thing. But you have the David Ines from Pellucidar, or however you pronounce that. But the best feature to me was the Carson of Venus by Len Wein and Michael Kaluta. Really, really great series, some great art. So really fond of those stories. And number 46, another copy I have, also pretty decent grade. Number 47, another great Kubert cover. And those 20 centers that I'm so in love with. Number 48, great sea monster cover. I guess this might be considered DC's version of a picture frame cover. Pretty cool. More Korak and Carson of Venus. Here you have the origin of Korak, number 49. Another great Kubert cover. Dark background. Really nice stuff. Number 50. More of the same. Number 51. And I actually do have the whole run of these. I've been trying to fill some gaps, but this is one that I actually, as far as the DC numbering, I had the whole run of this. Went from 46 through 59. Issue 51. 52. It's got a little chink at the top, but otherwise, really nice. 53. 54. Another great sea monster cover. As far as I know, these are still relatively cheap if you want to try to collect the series, or at least DC's part of it. 55 there. Another copy. This one's a little chewed up. But I always try to, the books that I really enjoy, I always try to keep at least 2 copies, one for reading and, one for collecting. This is probably my favorite cover of the whole series, the Mound of Skulls with the black background. This was definitely a reader copy. Looks like something chewed into that one. On the bottom corner too, but here's a higher grade look. Really nice black bordering background in that. Just a beautiful cover. Really nice. Number 57. Korak versus the Mastodon. It's after they went to 25-cent cover price and broke my heart as a child. This almost looks like a Commandy cover with the giant insects or mysterious island influenced. Number 58. And the last DC issue to that point, number 59. And the great Kubert cover. Grab a swig of coffee and I'll be right back. Okay, second really cool series in that same vein. Tarzan presents Edgar Rice Burroughs' ERB Worlds. More great stuff. Great Joe Kubert cover, black background. John Carter, Warlord of Mars. The David Ines at Earth Core. And some really great art in these. Howard Chaykin, Joe Kubert. I think Frank Thorne did some of the artwork. I think Frank Thorne did a lot of the Korak stuff in the beginning. And if you look kind of closely, he's got a style that's kind of similar to what Kubert did. I think Murphy Anderson did some of the art on these, on the David Ines feature. Or maybe it's the Warlord of Mars. I'm not really sure. It's been a while since I read these, but really great art and stories. Like I say, Howard Chaykin really heavily involved in this, and and another DC title at the same time, Sword and Sorcery. There's only 5 issues of that. It was kind of in the same genre. There's number 2. There's a very chewed copy. That's my reader. Okay. Here you have number 3. Really cool cover. I'm not really sure who did the not really sure about the art, the cover on that one, but I'm sure somebody can tell me. Excuse me. Number 4. Number 5. Here's a beautiful Mike Kaluta cover. Really nice. Number 6. This is another Kaluta, if I'm not mistaken. Not sure. Kind of looks like it. There's a Howard Chaykin cover, number 7. Number 8, more Chaykin. I'm a big fan of the stuff that Chaykin did with the, I think he did a Prestige Blackhawk series that I was really fond of. And also, everyone knows what he did with American Flag. Number 9. And last issue, number 10. Another great Mike Kaluta cover. A couple of copies of that one. the other copy. Okay, a couple little oddball issues. I thought I'd already went through all these, but somehow they ended up in the Tarzan pile. Still a great little series. Just a couple issues. I think this lasted 6 or 7 issues. This must be a couple of the duplicates I have. This is Rima Jungle Girl, number 4. Great Joe Kubert cover. And really, if you're an admirer of great artwork, this book is really worth checking out because Nestor Redondo did the Rima feature. And in the back, it was a little-known series called Space Voyagers by Alex Nino, who I'm a huge fan of. So Nino in science fiction, just it's really surrealistic, to say the least. And we have issue number 5. Like I say, there's 6 or 7 issues of this, so I guess these are dupes. Another great Kubert cover. Okay. More Tarzan-related books. Tarzan Family. This is actually a continuation of Korak. And all these are giant-size issues, which everyone knows I'm a huge fan of. Great Kubert cover, number 60. Amazon of Barsoon, John Carter, Carson of Venus. I think I got some Russ Manning Tarzan reprints. Got a couple more copies of that. All these are, didn't have anything, I don't have anything really high grade. These are probably mid-grade copies. This one's pretty decent here. I'd probably call this a fine plus. This is obviously a reader. A few of these I need to upgrade. One to upgrade. Got this little date stamp at the top, August 12th, 75. What a great time to collect comics. Number 61. A couple copies of this one. Both these are probably mid-grade. Like I say, more of the same. John Carter, Tarzan, the Worlds, Kubert cover. And these great square-bound books that I love. Another copy of that one. 62. I only have one copy of this one. I really wanted to upgrade this one. Got a white background, but this one's kind of grungy, but still great looking book. Number 63. And like the Korak series, these are relatively inexpensive. I mean, it's probably be pretty easy to get the whole series. They're only like 7 issues from 60 to 66. See another copy of that one. Number 64. One of those great bicentennial DC Comics salutes the bicentennial covers. This was number 23 in that series. More great Joe Kubert. Tarzan books was probably the first time they ever really stood up and took notice of Joe Kubert's artwork, because the first thing that I remember seeing, other than maybe an Our Army at War book, was probably those giant treasury editions that reprinted the first few DC issues of Tarzan. And I just really fell in love with his artwork from the get-go. Higher grade copy of 64. And getting some of the later issues, 65. This is actually an Ernie Chan cover. Or Ernie Chua, as he signed his name sometime. And at first I wasn't really crazy about Chan's covers, but then it got to be where he was doing a whole lot of the covers for DC, like Nick Cardy and Neil Adams before him. Did a lion's share of those late 60s, early 70s covers. There's a great looking cover, number 65. There's a what I'd call a well chewed copy, nonetheless. And last issue, number 66. Not really sure about who did the cover. It almost looks like Al Milgrom. But just more great stuff. There's another reading copy. Pretty beat up. And that's all of that series. Last one I'm going to show is the DC run of Tarzan. I am missing several issues in this one, maybe 10 or 15 or so. But this went from issue 207 through issue 258 or 259, if I'm not mistaken. And these are just pure Joe Kubert greatness. Anybody that's a fan of Tarzan and Joe Kubert, I think I have another copy of this somewhere. It's a higher grade, but this is the only, I think it might be on my display shelf. But it just, I actually read these before I actually bought these issues later on. I read them for the first time in a Treasury reprint. So there's the first DC issue, number 207. Just a classic, what I would call an iconic cover from the early 70s. These great 52-page giants for a quarter. The second DC issue, number 208. It's a higher grade copy. Just a beautiful, beautiful cover. Third DC issue. I kind of like how they did that. Number 209. Mate of the Ape Man. And number 210. Now this is what I'd call a heartbreaker. If it didn't have the ink overspray on the top, this book would probably be a very fine plus to near mint. Other than that, it's pretty perfect condition. But the ink overspray at the top is the only thing that kind of detracts from this one. Luckily, there's another copy without the ink overspray. Just beautiful Kubert art and artwork in this, covers and art. Number 211, Land of the Giants. Another copy. This is, I don't know if it's a reader. It's, well, yeah, it's got some creases in it, but a few dings. Another cover I really love, number 212. $213. So most of the early stuff I have, I'm just missing a few issues here and there in Kubert's run. Missing 214 and 215, but here's 216. Great cover. Another copy. 217. $218. $219. And I think all these early stories were adapted directly from the novels of ERB, and Kubert did a masterful job of the adaptions. Just great, great stories. Another copy of 219. $220. And another copy. Missing a couple issues, so we're jumping to 223. 224, one of my favorite covers. This one's kind of beat up and got a rusted staple on it, but Never fear. Here's another copy. $224. Okay, I'm missing 225. I have 226. Let's skip another issue. 228. Great cover. Love the colors on this one. Trial by Blood. Another copy. Get another drink of coffee. I actually had my coffee sitting on a shelf because I was going through these books earlier and I had my coffee cup sitting behind me and I dumped it all over the carpet, so I'm having to watch out and not step in it with my socks. Okay. Another stack. Tarzan. It's number 229. It's a little beat up. Still a beautiful cover. And now we get into the run of my beloved 100-pagers. There's actually a lot of these that I just ordered and upgraded, probably 5 of them. And these are not too bad a shape, but there's some dings in them. But issue 230. More stuff from DC's Silver Age here. Congo Bill. More Carson of Venus. Korak. And a lot of these are Dell and Gold Key. Probably Dell reprints in the back. There's another copy of 230. Binding on this one is really nice. Pretty square. $231. More great reprints than this. Tarzan in the Line, man. It was a really good storyline. Really nice book. Another copy of 231. Pretty beat up, but I think this is my original. $232. Probably another off the rack book. More great Joe Kubert on the cover. Another copy. This is what I would call another heartbreaker. The front looks really nice, but on the spine you can kind of see where it's kind of crunched in on the corner, and in the middle it's not really square. Other than that, really nice book. And probably my favorite cover of the 100-pagers, 233. Another chapter of the Lion Man saga. Got pinups, Rex the Wonder Dog, Tarzan and the Monkey Man. 100 pages for 60 cents. Oh God, to go back in time. But every time we pull these books out and look through them, I mean, that's basically what we're doing. So that's the great thing about collecting, as everyone knows. Number 234. Yeah, this one definitely, I love this cover too, but it's definitely upgrade worthy. I think I have a very fine copy coming in of this, basically. And this is, I'm not really sure about this one. This is the original copy of something, so I don't know if this is 235 or 234, or like I say, it was one of my off-the-rack copies, obviously. And I literally love this book to death, as you can see. And here's 235, the last in the 100-page series. You got Detective Chimp and some other features. More great Joe Kubert goodness. Okay, and the last little stack kind of goes through to the end of what I have of it anyway. There's some serious gaps in here, but most of the Kubert covers anyway. And like I say, when I went back to a 25-cent format, you know, like with a lot of DC's books that I loved, you know, I was kind of heartbroken. You know, you're paying less, but you were getting less. But I guess they had the 100 pagers had run their course by that time. But here's 236. This is my off the rack. Still a great Joe Kubert cover. Actually got 3 copies of this, I think. That was probably, I'm not sure any of these are really high grade. They're probably mid to, this one might be a VG Fine. Not in real bad shape. Just a great cover, and I love the colors on that one too. Another great cover, favorite of mine, number 237. This is really high grade. This was I would probably call this one a 9.6 to a 9.8. I mean, it's almost flawless. A really nice book. Corners are really square, and the cover gloss is just awesome. And another copy, not as good a shape. This is my original. So for fans of Joe Kubert, these books are really the way to go if you want to get some seriously good artwork and stories for a decent price. Here's a giant size issue, number 238. And all these are reprints from the Gold Key series. Russ Manning art. But you have Russ Manning and Joe Kubert on the covers. You can't go wrong. Really didn't mean for this video to go this long, but for those of you that stuck around, I really appreciate it. Number 239. Another original purchase as a kid. Obviously upgrade worthy. Nice cover, nice colors. Okay, this is kind of where that's kind of hit and miss as far as the numbering that I have. I think up until close to the end, Kubert was still doing some of the covers. I think he actually did a couple issues right at the end. Here's number 242. 244. A lot of these are obviously mid-grade. 246. 247. Got a couple copies of this one. This is the one I'm most proud of. My original. Yes, I love this book to death also. And this one's a little bit better grade. Got some creases, but... Okay, number 249. Kubert's still on the job here. I think even when he wasn't doing the covers for these books and the art, I think he was doing like all the editing on this stuff. Number 251, one of my beloved bicentennial covers, number 32 of that series. And this is actually a Garcia Lopez cover. And I thought he would really have made a great artist for the Tarzan series. Number 254. I think this is another Garcia Lopez cover. $255, Ernie Chan. Obviously another one I bought off the rack in probably $77, looks like, from the cover price. And $258. This might be the last issue, or it might have ran $259. But I'm thinking this is an Alfredo Alcala cover. I don't really think it's Ernie Chan, but still a great cover. 2:58. Okay, guys, I have run exactly half an hour now, so I'm gonna sign off. But for those of you that are Kubert fans, Edgar Rice Burroughs, Tarzan, and any affiliated characters, I'm glad you stuck around. And as always, I appreciate all you guys. And hey, onward and upward, my friends.